Hello students. Now today is the last day this week that we have. We discussed a lot actually about what we have here, which is our English portrait. Now the main idea of the English portrait, in case you still didn't catch the idea of it, is to show that there is a kind of a relation, like family relations, between the parts in the English language learning. So we have here basically in the language, now you speak, and we knew the difference between speaking, talking, and conversation, and we related it at the same time with pronunciation, and we just mentioned annotation and how it also has its effect on the speaking. And also in the other side, we have here the vocabulary, and we have here grammar, and we said that learning vocabulary, just learning a vocabulary is not enough, because you are going to take your words and put them in sentences which should be structured correctly, meaning that you are going to use grammar. Now we are going to discuss the last two parts that we have here, which are reading and writing. And you think about it, also we have here vocabulary can be learned within reading specifically. And also, writing is related very much to grammar. So let's see what we have. Now we're going to start with our reading skills. Now reading is the key to learning. Reading is very important. It is the key actually to learning, because while you are reading, you are doing a lot of things. Now reading is not just answering questions. Basically, we have many objectives. Now to read, or read to activate and reinforce other skills, like for example grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and writing, because actually when you are reading, you are practicing your vocabulary or your pronunciation. You're also writing, you are listening to the discussion, you are also recognizing grammar forms or structures, and of course you are applying the same, or the skill itself, which is reading. Read to think. Now critical thinking, which means to compare, solve a problem, give an opinion, etc., are things that are actually done within reading skills. Reading to look for specific information and words, which means that you are scanning and skimming the paragraphs to look for something in particular. Visualize and read for enjoyment. So this is something very important to put in mind, that reading is not just a task. You can enjoy reading, you can visualize the things that you are reading about, and you will enjoy the lesson more. Now here you can see that we have here a paragraph, and there are some parts that are covered, but you still can read, and you still can understand what we have here. So let's see here. Now I want you just to read the paragraph. I'm going to give you 1 second, and then after that we're going to discuss, but try to read here. Yes? Now, you can see that this paragraph, although some parts are missing, but you still can understand. You can still understand that the paragraph is about a group of friends. We have here Sarah, Tala, and Samar. You can know the basic idea of the paragraph, that there was gossiping, and they were talking about someone else, and someone got angry. And you can still get the conclusion that we have here someone came, they became friends or they became friends, and other people, they appreciated their friend more. So I got the whole idea here just from the things that are written, which means when you are reading a paragraph, you don't have to pass by every single word in the paragraph to understand the whole idea or the content that you have. So you can just pass by some information and still get the main idea that we have here in the paragraph. Another task we're going to do also, you have here a paragraph. Now, the more you read, the better you get. So what does that mean? I'm going to just time for you. You are going to read from the start, and wherever, when I say stop, wherever you stopped, just put your eye on it, and then we'll discuss more. So counting, you're going to read from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Now you stopped, just put your eye, and then I'm going to count also to 3, and you're going to start from the beginning again. Not from where you stopped, you are going to start from the beginning again. So, going back to the beginning, we have here 1, 2, 3. Stop. Now, if you have noticed what happened, you started. The second time, when you read, it is actually faster than the first time because your eye is getting used to the words, and the more you read, the more your eyes will get used to the words that they are reading, and you will be quicker in reading. So this is actually a technique that if you just follow and you realize what you are doing, you will get the hang of it and you will start to read more. Now, reading practice. Of course, a lot of comprehension questions are answered, but maybe now you know that there is another aim for reading. You can make use of your reading, and as we said, you can practice your vocabulary, the grammar part, pronunciation. Everything is actually within the reading part. So we have here skimming and scanning is this the basic kind of skill that we use within reading. Now we're going to see here what we have here in this paragraph. Now actually we have the first one to look for adjectives. You can just read around and see what we have here. You can find that we have here verbal as an adjective. There is also important and facial. We have also another question. You can see that we have here the synonym of kinds. So when you start reading from the beginning, you can see that language is our primary means of communication as human beings. So we have here the synonym of kinds is actually means. We have also another question, words that have a C pronounced as in car. Now there are lots of words like communication. You can see carried, and we can see convey. Also, we have here cannot. You can also pass by an idiom or an expression. You can just look at the end, and we can find that there is an expression which is at a loss for words. Moving on, we can find many phrasal verbs. Now, for example, we have here run into. Now, if we want the antonym for forbid, for example, you can just read under the box, and you can find the antonym of forbid is actually allow. We have also words that have silent letters, or you can say, for example, double letters. You can just read, and these words will help you just to increase your knowledge about the vocabulary that you have. Now, these are questions that are not applied always. Of course, we have here our questions like the choose questions. We have also true or false questions. And of course, we have our main questions, which can be either WH questions or yes/no questions. For example, we have here what is our primary means of communication as human beings. We can have also why is nonverbal communication important. And we have here also a yes/no question, for example, can overall expression convey what we cannot express through words? So the aim here of our exercise is to just be aware of the kinds of questions or the kinds of information that you can take out from a paragraph. So here you can see that we have here the typical kinds of questions that we always answer as comprehension questions. And also there is more that you can take from a paragraph. Moving on. Now read, read, and read. The more you read, especially novels and literary works, but also magazines and newspapers, the more words you'll be exposed to as you read and uncover new English. You will achieve more and you will gain more from your English language. Moving on. Now, speaking of communication, as we speak of communication that we mentioned a lot through this week, we have something else. Now, if you got a letter from an old friend, would you prefer it to be electronic or handwritten, and why? Now, this is an interesting question. So if you got a letter from your friend, would you like it to be handwritten or electronic? Everybody has their reasons, and we are going to answer this question actually in our semester, so I'm going to leave it without an answer. But think about it until our time comes for it. But basically here we are talking about writing a letter, which takes us from our reading part to the writing part. We have here, why do we write? So a lot of students, they feel that writing is quite a difficult task. They think that it needs a lot of concentration, it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of effort. Of course it does, but it can be something enjoyable at the same time. So the main objective of writing is to help you share your thoughts. So you are connecting and you are sharing with someone else. Through writing, to explore ideas and to build connections between content areas. You can improve your English skills through writing by choosing the right vocabulary, form correct sentences, and develop your writing abilities. Now let's see our English writing skills. We have here, why do some students have difficulties in writing? We are going to see, first of all, what are your reasons? Why do you think that writing can be difficult or has some difficulties? So we're going to see why. Now, these are just suggestions and answers from some students. Now, we can see that they have a hard time getting started from the beginning. Some students don't concentrate. Some students struggle to organize the writing paragraphs. Some don't know the correct mechanics of writing. They do not know exactly what they are doing. They don't know the right words to express an idea. Some students struggle to develop and gather ideas from the start. Some have poor spelling, which makes them frustrated. And some have poor grammar, which is the same problem with poor spelling. They feel that there is a problem and they give up easily. So we're going to try to see what are the solutions for writing skills before we even start our writing. We're going to start. How do we start? First of all, the first thing to understand what you are going to write about. So before you even take a pen or a pencil, just try to understand exactly what is the topic or what is the thing that you are writing about. And before writing, as an advice, before you start typing, try to start with something simple, just a pen, a pencil, and paper, just to write outlines or to write some kind of just notes for you, for your writing before you start the typing. Brainstorm about the topic, the right words will come up. And actually there is a very easy idea is to write down as many notes as you can. So if you have any kind of topic, let's say for example, as we said about communication, now you can just write the words and put them in front of you, like we have here. You can write down, for example, communication. We have here different types. We can say, for example, electronic, human. We can say writing. We can say verbal, non-verbal, and so on. And then from each basic word, you can have many other words that are related. And note that you don't have to use them all, but at least you can put them as a start. After that, you have to know what type of essay do you have. So what are the types of essays? Now you can write, for example, The types of writing we have here: persuasive, which means that you have an idea and you are trying to convince someone with your idea. You can write some expository, which shows, or we have here, it just introduces something, and we have here, it reveals facts. Comparative essays, which is comparing between two parts. We have also descriptive essay, you are actually describing something. And also we have here narrative essay, which is like stories, when you are just writing or narrating something. Now note, sometimes you can use more than one kind in one essay, but it is also very useful from the start to know what kind of essay you're writing before you start, so you can know what is the path that you are going to use or go on. Now, after you have decided, you have just collected your words, and you decided what kind of essay you have, you are going to make an outline of your essay. So something simple. That's why we said you can start with a pen or a pencil at the start before the typing. You can use many kinds of graphs, because you are just organizing your ideas, your outline, that you're going to have first ideas here, and then in the second paragraph you're going to write here and here. So which means that you're going to take your words that you wrote and then just put them and divide them into graphs. When you have organized, you can organize your ideas and paragraph order. So which one comes first? Do you want this paragraph to be the first? Then what can you have as a conclusion? What can you have at the start as the introduction? Concentrate one step at a time. Now, personally, I think that a lot of students, they struggle with their writing because they do everything at the same time. So first of all, start step by step. Do not start just writing. Try to just organize the steps as we said here. And at the same time, correct before being corrected. When you have written your paragraphs or your essay in general, try to correct yourself. So start first of all with correcting the main ideas. When you are done, go to the other step, which is correcting the grammar structures. When you feel you're okay, go and just correct your spelling mistakes and make sure of the words that you are not sure of. And then you can go back and check your punctuation and capital letters and, of course, the title. So actually, it is going step by step and not doing everything at the same time. We have here a lot that you did in Mega 4. We have a lot of topics that you wrote about. Now you can see that you wrote a descriptive essay. You did write an email. We have also a memorable event, if you remember. A sitcom about species, or species in general, what kind. And we have here a personal narrative. So these were topics that were mentioned in Mega Goal 4, and they were done before. Now we have a lot of new interesting topics in Mega Goal 5 that we're going to start, inshallah, and you will be successful. So at the end of our week, we had a main outlook of what we're going to do, inshallah, within our Mega Goal 5. We have here better English language for a better education. So put in mind that you are correcting yourself and you are correcting the way that you are going to study and apply your skills before you start studying the syllabus itself. So be ready. We have a lot of interesting things to do and to discuss, and inshallah you're going to enjoy your semester.